welcome back to Dice to Meet You. This is a podcast where we're all about to play some Dungeons & Dragons. I'm your host and your Dungeon Master, Keith McBlane.
I'm Glen Tickle. I play Mouse Grouse, the thief.
I'm Jacob Haller. I play Skullbutt, the cat bard.
I'm Tara Dunderdale. I play Audreyn, biological control agent.
And I am Troy. I play Decim, your ever so wonderful cleric, and I am back, stronger than ever.
All right. So, being that we left things off in a tavern, I think now would be a pretty good time for a bardic recap of the previous session's events. So, Skullbutt.
All right, I'm getting everyone's
Yay.
attention in the
Yay.
bar, and here's what I'm seeing. As I was walking up the stairs to the goddess's heart, I met a man whose backside had been pierced by many darts. His clothes were gone, or almost. He still had his underclothes. I asked him why. He shrugged and said, sometimes that's how it goes. Well, I traveled with a fighter. He called himself Kevin. I might have met a dumber jock, if so, I can't say when. I got KO'd, he took my clothes, excuse me, my outburst. If you've met him, I am sorry, because Kevin is the worst. Proceeding, we soon came upon this self-styled brave knight. His stupid face betrayed a complete lack of any insight. Swing first, ask questions later was his one approach to a fight. I asked him why. He stated killing monsters a delight. I'm a terrible person. I'm paraphrasing there. I kill things that are different 'cause I live my life in fear. Even if they're doing laundry, by me they'll be oppressed. They'll be sorry that they met me, because Kevin is racist.
I hate Kevin.
Alright, so I know that many people have strong feelings about monsters, but have you ever just sat down and talked to one? They have families, lives, and dreams, just like everyone else. It's not their fault that society has branded them evil and considers them disposable cannon fodder. So just think about that the next time you come across a monster carrying out some innocent, everyday task, and leave them alone, or maybe even lend them a hand. Don't be like Kevin. That guy is a total loser. Our mouse rogue got right in his face and told him to be nice. He used short words and phrases and explained it to him twice. Then suitably cowed, Kevin slowly slunk away. Perhaps he's fixed his habits, but just to be safe, I'd say. Always look out for this fighter. He calls himself Kevin. I might have met a bigger twerp, if so, I can't say when. If he gives you lip, a little whip reminds him where he stands. Please don't go easy on him, 'cause he's the worst in all the lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, if we do that like every episode, that was wonderful.
Don't be like Kevin.
Kevin sucks. And now it's forever codified in song.
Good Boy seems to have really enjoyed the song. This is actually right on the heels of the first song you sung, so I think that that's suitably caught him up, and he's gonna clap in appreciation and say, "That was pretty great." So you're all in front of this tavern or this bar with this golden furred dog man, and so I guess he's gonna ask, "So what are your plans now that you're in the city? I guess you're probably going to try to open the door if you're adventurers, right?"
It seems like that would be great. Although if...
We have a bad history with doors.
I don't know what you people are talking about. I think going through doors is great.
I don't know. It's not always the best idea. It's important to consider.
Yeah. People have been trying to do it for hundreds of years, though, right? Like, what have people tried?
Well, I mean, they've pretty much tried everything you can think of, or at least that's what I've heard. People have tried, teleporting in using magic to blast it down, but really nothing has worked. Although it seems that the common consensus for the right way to open the door is to somehow use the power of love.
I give the door a hug.
Have you tried singing that Huey Lewis song?
Yeah, say Skullbutt. Do you know any Huey Lewis?
Unfortunately, because this is a universe without love, Huey Lewis has never even gotten one #1 hit here.
That makes sense.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? I mean, how are you supposed to open a door using love if the actual goddess of love, is dead?
Not by orc smooching, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I saw that people tried that. That didn't work at all.
Those fools were really selling it too. They were giving it their all.
I noticed that there's a heart at the top of this cavern. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that's where the mayor lives. She built her palace on top of it.
Whoa. How do you get up there?
So Good Boy sort of tilts his head and considers this for a moment. I think probably the safest way is to try flying. I can't say I've ever been up there myself, so if there's a better way of doing it, I don't know.
All right. Well, that's a very helpful tip. Okay. Flying. I'll make a note of that.
So if you can't open the door, then what are you gonna do then? I mean, a lot of adventurers come to this city, and they give it a try, and when nothing works, they just find something else to do.
Has anyone ever found a way out of here?
Again, Good Boy pauses to consider for a moment, and he says, "Well, not that I've heard of. As far as I've heard, there's only really one way to get into this place, and it's been a long time since some of these tunnels were explored. There are stories that say that you might be able to get out by going through the shroud."
What is the shroud?
It's called that because it's completely shrouded in mist. You go
I get it.
You go up from Heart City and into the head. But from what I've heard, things get pretty crazy up there. The paths you go down lead to nowhere, and then when you turn around, you can never retrace your steps. I've only heard stories, but I hear it's really easy to get lost in there.
I see.
So yeah, not a lot of people have ever really tried to leave. I guess if you found someone who knew a strong enough teleportation spell, that could get you pretty much anywhere, including out of here.
Hey, do we still have that princess's number? She seemed pretty good at that.
Wow, you guys know a princess?
Yeah, I think she's a queen now. She's probably the queen.
Wow, that's really cool. So what are you, like royal adventurers or something like that?
We're just the coolest dudes around.
Good Boy seems suitably impressed.
Oh, he believed it. We didn't need to make a convince to roll or anything.
Well, what would it be? It's not a deception check. It's just straight up fact with coolest dudes around.
We're probably not the coolest dudes around, but we were definitely the strong adventurers. You are not Kevin. That is true.
Yeah, we've met a few people around here, and it's true. None of them are as cool as us.
Yeah.
We're in a universe that's entirely populated by teenagers, right? Like, that's sort of what it feels like.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about that, Keith. It seems like everyone is super enthusiastic and kind of dumb that we meet. And so I've lived here my entire life, apparently. This is unusual, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You've met a lot of enthusiastic dummos, but Yeah, I mean, I guess just out of character, I'll say I just wanted to write a bunch of enthusiastic Dummos up front. That's really all it is.
Okay. All right, so noted. Well, I feel like maybe... I don't know. We have this map here that the sheriff kindly gave us. Is there any place that you recommend we check out next while we try to figure out what to do?
Well, what are your plans here in Heart City?
Well...
We're looking for Pin.
I know Audreyn has an interest in zoning.
So Good Boy's face lights up and he says,
Audreyn doesn't have an interest in zoning. Tara has an interest in zoning.
Well, there's a municipal office of housing and zoning. You can go there if you want to find a place to rent. I mean, it'll get kind of expensive if you just stay in the tavern night after night.
I mean, question.
Yes.
Do we still have the bag of holding with like the basically infinite amount of money in it that the princess put in it for us?
Yeah, you got some. You still got your coins from last adventure.
Okay. Just checking.
It seems like you guys could just put up notices on the adventure board and pay people to do stupid things forever if you wanted to.
Bring me the head of Kevin.
That sounds like it wouldn't get approved.
Fair enough.
I hear Grouse say that, and I go through an internal struggle of trying to stay sane.
Is there... I feel like I'm trying to take in the lead here, guys. Is there anything that you want to...
You do have the best charisma.
I do. That's true. But
listen,
Good Boy
do you ever
pretty...
want me to be in charge and take lead? No.
Okay.
Yeah, Decim, why don't you negotiate this out for us, buddy?
Oh, jeez.
I'm just looking around for places we can launch a heist.
Right. That probably wouldn't be approved either. So, well, if I'm curious as to whether there are places around that have any kind of magical or other special goods. Do you know if there's anything like that around?
Well, the Black Cauldron, they sell alchemical and magical like potions and reagents, and I hear the Watchtower has some magic items on stock, but Div, the owner, won't just sell them to anyone.
Also,
oh wait,
team,
Grouse just realized there's a knife store. Sorry, go ahead.
Instead of waiting for the like gigantic mayor to surprise us, why don't you just go to her house?
I like that.
See what's up with this mayor?
We should probably buy a lot of knives first.
Good Boy,
I mean, yeah, let's get like all the knives.
Good Boy says, well, I don't think the mayor likes to be disturbed by just any random adventurer who wants to come up and say hi. It would be a good idea if you had an appointment first. Then he again pauses for a second. That said, I have no idea how you're supposed to get an appointment with the mayor.
Probably just sneak right in there.
Oh, I have an idea.
You know, I really don't like elected leaders that don't have clear transparency policies, and I think that we need to go meet her.
Let's get this mayor's tax returns.
All right.
Okay, but just to warn you, I don't think it's a great idea.
That's our specialty. Let's do it.
Yeah, please. Good Boy, do you have any idea who you're talking to?
This is where Audreyn gets all of us killed.
Don't worry. I think I have the perfect plan to get us an appointment with this mayor.
Oh,
Does
boy.
it involve Mouse Grouse riding Decim into the office?
It can, but it also involves the world's
knives.
best joke.
Oh, I thought I thought like Decim was going to go on like bear Tinder and just.
We don't know if she's a bear yet, though.
The mayor.
All right.
Huh?
We don't know if she's like a bear yet, though.
No, but she's bear-sized.
Or larger.
Oh, so just big Tinder.
Or larger. Yeah.
Big Tinder.
Large mammal Tinder.
Wait, why does it have to be mammals? Like,
What do
why
you think
can't
mice are dating? You think mice are dating bears? That just seems like physically prohibitive.
Yeah, Grouse just kind of sizes up Decim and just kind of nods, agreeing with Audreyn. Like, that looks hard.
So, shall we go over to the mayor's and see what's going on there?
Sure.
Sorry, I derailed everybody else's plans with my storm the mayor's castle plan.
Everyone else's plans were
terrible.
terrible.
Storming the mayor's castle, but
I'm still convinced that my joke will work.
Yeah.
You guys don't have weapons because you can't carry anything smaller or larger than a dagger.
I have hooves.
I have my mind
and powerful jaws.
I think I have some daggers, and of course I can bite things.
I'm all daggered up.
I was allowed to keep my
whoa.
staff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was the part about what kind of sticks are weapons.
Yeah.
We determined that a staff is not a weapon because it's a stick, but a spear is a weapon because it has a pointy part.
Because it's pointy.
Yeah.
And I probably still have my paladin knuckle dusters too.
Yeah.
No, Night Whisper didn't take those from you, despite the fact that he admitted they looked pretty dangerous.
These are just my fancy rings.
Well, I feel like we're not gonna necessarily be fighting a lot of demons, so we should probably see what equipment we can get, because we're pretty well stocked for demon fights. But I just need something to take down Kevin. I need a good anti-Kevin weapon.
I don't think you need much to take down Kevin.
There is a store on the map called Blades Unlimited, which sells cutlery and small weapons. And actually, I'm just gonna run down this list of locations, just because I didn't do it last time, and it feels like something I should do on the podcast. So there is the Watchtower, which is a general goods store, Chimera Wares, which is fine clothing and tailoring, Silver Mist Forge, which is a blacksmithery and armor shop, Blades Unlimited, cutlery and small weapons, Layer It On, which sells adventuring goods, and Layer is spelled Lair, because that's super clever. Black Cauldron, which sells alchemy and potions, then there's also the Heart's Desire, which is a bar restaurant, the Stone's Throw, which is where you are now, Steak, which is spelled Staek, which sells steak, and also it's spelled in all capital letters, and there's the Forest's Bounty, which is Elven cuisine. Then for entertainment, there's the Atrium, which is an outdoor theater. There are landmarks such as the Waterfall, Town Square, and the Heart City Chapel. And then there are municipal and government buildings such as the Sheriff's Office, the Mayor's Office, the Library, and the Office of Housing and Zoning.
So we could just go to that tailor. Remember like 20 episodes ago when we really wanted superhero costumes?
And everyone didn't go with my brilliant plan of us all dressing up like superheroes.
Now we can get custom ones. I just didn't want like a cheapo out of the bag one.
Like
that
a
was
CVS,
the problem with that plan. It was just quality of costume. Yeah, I mean, we probably we're all different sizes than we were, so we don't probably have. I mean, we've been here for a few months. We have clothes, I would imagine. But...
Yeah, you have a few outfits, but then again, you've been on the road for a while, and I would probably assume at this point, unless you've been taking rigorously good care of your clothes, they're probably all a bit dirty and stinky.
Yeah. Let's go get...
Oh, we're going around wearing clothes. I thought we were just not wearing anything at all.
Nah, dude, you can't go nakers.
That's your call.
We're animals, though.
Live your truth, man. If you want to be a naked bear, be a naked bear.
I'll be the best damn naked bear I can be.
You'll probably get arrested.
Yeah. Let's go get cool stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so going to Chimera Wares for superhero outfits, and then the mayor's office.
Sounds like a plan.
I also do want to hit Blades Unlimited.
All right.
But we can go Chimera Wares first.
And also the zoning office.
And then the zoning office. We should also stop by the library, or my wife would get mad at me because she's a librarian. But
I kind of want to chase that waterfall.
I kind of want to go to the zoning office just because I want to make Keith tell me what, like, different documents are in
What's the
there.
millage rate for Heart City?
You'll also be making me write the weirdest folk song ever if we just spend all our time at the zoning office.
I'm gonna figure out like what the housing policy is for integrated school systems.
Well,
do they have mixed use high density housing mixed with low density housing in order to ensure socioeconomic integration in their school system?
Yeah.
Let's go find out.
I don't necessarily know all the technical details of the zoning policies within this city, but I can make up a lot of words to make it sound official.
Well, that'll be homework for next time.
All right, you go into Chimera Wares.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's all get dope-ass spy outfits.
So you walk on over to the clothing store. This brightly colored shop is packed with racks of tunics, dresses, suits, coats, and other finery. You get a strong sense of handcrafted charm, looking at the prominently displayed swatches and patterns. A salesperson approaches you. He is a red-scaled dragonborn in a silver-gray tunic with gold trim. Welcome to the Chimera. Judging by the looks of you, you're new to town. Most adventurers don't come with too many outfits, but here in the city, a larger wardrobe is expected. So please, look around all you like, and I'll be here if you have any questions.
I have one.
Right on.
Yes?
What time is it?
It's about evening-ish. There aren't many clocks in the city, being that that's not like a super available technology at this point.
You just need to know if you need to start shopping for evening wear, Decim.
Yeah, exactly.
Something black tie, something nice.
Yeah, which is more appealing, being a naked bear or a fancy bear?
Oh God! All right, now I have to wear a tuxedo constantly.
You could go like Donald Duck. Halfsies and just wear like top half tuxedo, bottom half naked bear.
I think
or
that would
vice
still
versa.
get you arrested.
Can I be like the Scrooge McDuck of bears? Scrooge McBear?
That depends on your relevant buoyancy to gold coins.
I'll take my chances.
And whether or not you're going to learn an important lesson about the value of family at Christmas time.
I mean, I already know about the importance of family. I have you guys and this cat.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That was super heartwarming.
So Felsier is just looking at you as if you're talking complete gibberish, which you kind of are.
Yeah, that's our jam.
Were we all speaking common so that we were literally speaking gibberish in front of?
I can't speak common.
Oh, true. I should give you my helm so that when we speak common, you can still be in on it.
So
I was gonna start talking in thieves' cant and throw you all off.
Oh,
so I'll still understand. I have my hat.
Oh, that's right.
So the Dragonborn man is going to look at you and say, "So we sell clothes here."
I will take your finest top hat, sir.
So Felsier takes a look at your head, sizing you up, and then he goes to one of the shelves and picks out a top hat and says, "I believe this will suit your size. However, he looks at your traveler's clothes and looks you up and down and says, however, I would not necessarily recommend this accessory with your current attire."
Oh, I plan on getting a whole new ensemble. Like, this is going to be like a clothing montage where we play something from the 80s, and I come out and people either give me a nod of approval or just shake their head no.
Okay, we're doing this.
Where's Corin when you need him?
All right, so yeah, you spend a little while picking out some outfits. You go into the dressing room. You come out. What's your first look?
The first look is... Oh God, what is it called?
Sailor Moon cosplay.
Sure. All right, that's the first one.
And everyone, thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up from me too.
That's the one.
Yeah, definitely.
The first look is a sweater vest.
There's like literally nothing more that I want to see in my life than somebody to draw a picture of a bear wearing a Sailor Moon outfit. Like,
hello, fans of Dice to Meet You. We're taking in picture requests.
I think that would be glorious and wonderful.
If someone feels like drawing some artwork of that, I will set up a Tumblr just for that.
The second look coming out is
It makes me so happy.
The second look
Just
is
thinking about it.
Decim in an all-white tuxedo with a monocle.
Oh boy.
I mean, like, you're 3 for 3 at this point. Like,
Yeah, these are all great except for the sweater vest.
yeah, sweater vest is fine.
All right,
I mean,
all
whatever. That's for your boring
All right,
days.
I'm going for Black Bear in an all-white tuxedo with a monocle with a matching top hat.
Perfect.
And a cane,
Okay. Are you gonna stop at 3, or do you have more in ya?
No, I think that's it. I think once I put that on, I knew.
I think this bit has run its course.
So Felsier is going, or the Dragonborn man. I guess he introduces himself as Felsier. I let that slip. Not like his name is a huge secret, but
Oh, the
the
Felsier?
secret. It's the secret to the whole campaign.
But Felsier is going to look at the price tags, especially that on the tuxedo, and he's going to say, very well, that if you're interested in all 3 of these outfits, that will come to a total of 246 gold pieces, and of course that includes some tailoring which we will do in house to get it exactly to your specifications.
I don't know if we ever actually like tallied it, but there was that moment when the princess was just like scooping gold coins into the bag.
Yeah.
And like gems and stuff.
I'm gonna say
Can we
you
just
probably
assume that
have
we
enough.
have enough?
I can look back at my notes to see like exactly how much you have, but yeah, you definitely have more than 246.
All right, wonderful.
We have 247 and the rest of us are fucked.
I mean, to see a bear in a tuxedo, top hat,
Worth
singing
every penny.
monocle. Yeah, exactly.
And when Felsier is looking at the prices for the Sailor Moon cosplay, he's like, when did we start stocking this?
We just wished it into existence.
And where can I get more? He says. So what is the?
Suddenly, it's his bestseller.
Yeah. Once he sees this giant bear wearing it around town, everyone's gonna want one.
The hottest new fashion.
Now, is there like armor and stuff here too?
No, this is just clothing.
Right.
Good stylish clothing and accessories, but nothing in the way of like leather armor or chainmail or anything.
Cool. I'll just get like a nice stealthy black suit.
Okay.
Oh, and an eye patch.
Sure.
A tiny little eye patch.
Okay, so if you're just going for like a simple, I guess like black pants and a turtleneck or what have you, that's gonna run you 2 gold and 3 silver pieces, eye patch included.
Nice. What about like a jacket? I want to look like not like full on tuxedo fancy boy, but
Yeah, like a suit jacket, I think is gonna cost an extra 5 gold.
I'm into it.
Cool.
Otherwise, I'll just come back and steal it.
Are you keeping one eye dark adapted for better fighting?
It's
below
mostly
ground?
because I want Mouse Grouse to be Danger Mouse, but
Got it.
yes, like eye patches do serve a very practical purpose. It's like pirates didn't wear them because they lost an eye. It was because they're going from below deck to above deck, which is like a very stark change in light. So you put it on one eye, and that's used to the dark, and then when you go above deck, you switch. And then the other one stays used to the thing. Yeah.
Of course, Mouse Grouse already has dark vision, so there's
I'm not gonna
there's
lie,
not
it's
much
mostly
of
the
a
Danger Mouse thing.
practical difference.
Yeah.
Wait, is that really the reason why pirates wear eye patches?
They think so.
That's so dope. I love it.
I learned that from my eye doctor once.
I forget. I think it was something I was writing about for Geeko System one day.
There was an episode of Mythbusters about it
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna
but-
say, I'm pretty sure Mythbusters did that one.
But I learned it from an eye doctor while I was waiting for my eyes to stop being dilated. He was telling me about it.
Okay, so anyone else gonna purchase some clothes?
I'm trying to think what makes sense. I mean,
what looks good on a goat?
What looks good on a goat?
Everything.
I mean, other than Sailor Moon cosplay, because I think we can establish that would look amazing on all four of us.
I think Tara or Audreyn has to wear it because I can't think of anything that makes me happier than a goat dressed as Sailor Moon.
Is it a bear dressed as Sailor Moon? Because
this Sailor Moon cosplay is sized for bear. It's gonna look big and ridiculous if Audreyn puts it on now.
Audreyn tries it on and it's just like the skirt goes down to her feet.
Skullbutt is like, yes, go with that. Perfect.
I need something that's like not. I need something not loose and baggy because, when I go and eat vines, I don't want to get all tangled in them.
Maybe like a nice sweater. Something loose.
Yeah.
An ugly Christmas sweater.
Year round?
Yes.
What is the climate in this in this heart?
Well, it's actually in the first months of spring in the world right now. It's a bit chilly outside, especially since you were in like such a mountainous, foggy region. But yeah, actually up here in the city, it's actually seems sort of pleasantly temperate.
So there are seasons inside of this dead goddess.
Yes.
All right. Noted.
So yeah, Felsier is gonna say, if you're looking for something with which to do landscaping type work, we have a range of denim.
Denim tuxedo, all Canadian tuxedo, all denim.
Are goats native to Canada?
Goats? I'm sure there are goats in Canada. So Felsier is going to think long and hard on that one, and he's gonna say, denim tuxedo. We might have something like that in the back.
We're making a lot of bold costume choices here, and I love it.
While you're back there, can you just real quick check and see if you have a bedazzler so that I could just jazz it up?
So he's gonna disappear into the back room and be gone for a little while, and a good 5 or 10 minutes. And when he comes back, he has a denim tuxedo, with what looks like a fine layer of dust on it, and he's gonna brush it off and say, "Well, it's your fashion," and hand it over to you. And say, that'll be 7 copper pieces. And he also hands you a small handheld tool, which looks like a fantasy version of a bedazzler, and say, that's on the house.
This is a result of Audreyn growing up in the woods on the road and always having to be stealthy, and now she's really, she's going through this crisis, and she's like, I want to wear the fashion thing. And has no idea what that is.
I want to look fancy. You're nailing it.
Well, if her benchmark, if the first fashionable thing she's seen is Decim in Sailor Moon cosplay, you can't really blame her.
All right, so Felsier, my man.
Yes.
I don't necessarily have a strong sense of fashion, and I know that you're the expert here, so I definitely appreciate that. So what I would like you to do is just let me know what kind of the fashionable cat around town is wearing. That would sort of fit in with what all these other people are wearing.
So he's gonna look around at your group and say, fitting in might be something of a difficulty.
I know you're up to it.
So he's going to pick around on a few of the shelves and hangers, and come back with I guess sort of like a navy blue minstrel's outfit. I mean, it would technically qualify as entertainer's clothes, but this is not overly showy. It's fairly subdued.
Okay.
Do you want to borrow my bedazzler?
I'm gonna defer to Felsier here, and if he thought that was necessary, I'm sure he would have brought one.
He would have brought the necessary bedazzler.
The required one.
Yeah. All right.
Listen, I think everyone's outfit needs a few more rhinestones.
I can't argue with that.
Felsier is going to cringe when you say that, but he doesn't overtly respond.
So I don't have a real, just speaking as out of character, I don't have a real strong idea of what this looks like, but I'm down with it. So I'll say, yeah, this is great. You've done the impossible. What's the cost?
I don't have the player's handbook on hand, but 3 gold pieces.
All right.
That's probably what an entertainer's clothes cost. Or roughly thereabout.
Sounds good. I'll tip him an extra GP for all his good work.
Thank you, sir.
And yeah, thanks.
I'm trying to decide what to bedazzle on the back of my jean jacket.
Tweety bird for sure.
I mean, probably like a skull wrapped in vines, right?
Oh, yes.
See, I don't need one of those because I've got my natural markings.
Yeah, Skullbutt's already got a skull on his butt.
Oh, I get it.
I don't know if it's clear or not, but Audreyn has come completely unhinged.
This party will quickly fall apart.
I think that'll probably do it for our clothes shopping scene. So so let's continue on.
We all look great.
Felsier's going to thank you as you leave the store, but at the same time he looks a little worried.
I imagine us walking out of the store like 4 wide, wind blowing in whatever,
Wait,
billowing
what
our
song
jackets.
is playing? This is important. We need to know what song is in the background.
We all put on aviator sunglasses.
I mean, probably it's got to be the song from Reservoir Dogs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But this is like the worst version of that.
I also want to call back to Felsier. Hey, man, thanks a lot. Again, these are great clothes that you picked out for us. You're just the best in town.
And he's going to say, if anyone asks, don't mention my name.
I won't mention it. I'll shout it out. You did great work here, buddy.
I'll scream it from the rooftops.
Felsier
right.
looks thoroughly horrified.
Just making friends all over. So where are we going next?
He just repeats to himself, the customer's always right, the customer's always right, the customer's always right.
Count your money, quit complaining.
Yeah, we just spent like a lot of money there. Well,
you didn't.
Decim did.
Yeah, I bought a reasonably priced stealthy black suit.
All white tuxedos for bears, it turns out, aren't very cheap.
I'm just
Does it cost more because it had to be very big?
Yes.
I'm just basking in the afterglow of how good I look. I kind of give like a seductive, like one winked smile through the monocle.
Right. At anyone in particular? Just like
all of you.
Is your monocle functional,
No,
or is it just like plain glass to make you look smart, like when models do that?
Yes. I'm actually giving that wink through the fourth wall to our fans.
Okay. Audience, you've been winked at by a tux bear. Proceed to be appropriately flattered. Anyway, so
Flattered or flattened?
So then, is it to the mayor's office or Blades Unlimited?
I want to tell my really funny joke. I say we go to the mayor's
Definitely
office.
Blades Unlimited.
Well, knives first,
Think
right?
of all the cool knives.
I'm not super into knives, but I am supportive of Grouse and his love of knives. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's my general position too.
I'm more punchy than stabby.
Also, I feel like we have 15 minutes, and maybe we want to spend more time at the mayor's office next time.
No, Decim or Troy's in a different time zone, so we've got
he's in Central Time.
So we've got till 12:30 on our clock.
Could you imagine if our whole entire episode was just clothes shopping?
It's just your weird fashion show.
I don't have to imagine it. I thought that's what was happening. And I was totally on board. I want to add. Okay.
The song next week would be great and confusing.
Oh, it's already going to be great.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, come listen to this Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Yeah, they're shopping now. It's great.
It's all about buying clothes in a fantasy setting.
Right. And making fun of some guy named Kevin for some reason.
A million downloads. A million listeners.
Our most popular episode to date.
You start a Patreon and it breaks Patreon.
Yeah.
There's just too much money.
And we use it on awesome clothes.
Well,
we use it to make all of these outfits a reality.
And turn ourselves into cats and mice and goats and whatnot.
I don't know if I want to be like a real goat. I don't know if I want to do that much vine eating in real life.
Now listen, fursuits are an option. I'm just saying. Anyway. Getting to know you segment, where we all learn a little bit more about each other as friends and as individuals outside of the role-playing context. So I've got a question for you all to think on this week, and that is, what is one movie that is really, I guess, shaped and influenced your pop culture sensibilities? I mean, I know for a lot of people that movie is probably Star Wars. If it just hit you at the right time, then that's like one thing that's that super influenced you and your tastes, and I guess like the culture as a whole, because Star Wars really was sort of the first movie of its type, which was like sort of a high-budget sci-fi fantasy. So I know that was really influential to people and sort of rightfully deserves its place in the canon of pop culture. So I guess more specifically, like, what is your personal Star Wars? And I guess it's fine to say Star Wars, but just if you could talk a little bit about that and what that type of movie has done for you personally. It's a pretty big question. You can take your time on that one.
I'm trying to think. I mean, because yes, Star Wars is the obvious answer. I remember watching those movies, I think, more than anything else when I was a little kid. Also, the Ewok TV movies.
Oh yeah,
because Ewoks are great, and I won't hear different. Yeah.
High five.
So I'm trying to think of like something other than that, but that had by far had the biggest influence, because especially like it wasn't 2016 new Star Wars movie every year, everyone is super excited about it. It was kind of a nerdy thing still when I was a little kid, so it wasn't like you rolled into school with your Star Wars backpack. Not everybody was as impressed as I feel like if my daughter showed up with one in school today. So it wasn't like the biggest dorky thing about me as a little kid, but like, yeah, it wasn't as commonplace. So that, besides just shaping like what I liked to watch, I think it did genuinely have an impact on like how I interact with other people and like how do I find people that I may or may not have common interests with. Because that was a pretty good baseline. Like if you also like Star Wars, then we probably also have other things in common, as opposed to now, like, I don't want to talk about Star Wars with most people that I meet. I mean, to be fair, I don't want to talk about a lot of things with most people I meet, but yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of like what a number 2 thing would be.
Well, if we could just talk a little bit more about Star Wars. I mean,
I'll talk to Star Wars about you guys.
I grew up in a different time as you, and I'm wondering, like, that's sort of an interesting idea that Star Wars hasn't always been as popular as it was. So, like, I'm wondering sort of if you could comment on sort of the rise and fall of that particular series in the cultural consciousness.
Well, I remember in 8th grade, a group of my friends were starting to play like a Star Wars RPG, similar to D&D, like tabletop, filling out character sheets, that kind of stuff. And like we would talk about it in school, and like the other kids would be like, "You guys are dorks! Like, why are you doing this?" I ended up not playing because I wanted to be an Ewok, and they told me that I couldn't be an Ewok. So I'm like, then I'm out. Yeah, but like it was like genuine, like ridicule. It wasn't just like, "Oh, that's kind of dorky." It was like, "You guys are nerds for doing this. You're stupid." Where I feel like now, if you showed up in an 8th grade class trying to get a Star Wars RPG game, like, they'd be lining up. They'd go crazy.
Glenn and I are the same age, roughly.
Yeah.
And I was not, like, Star Wars was not even a little bit in my, like, sphere of awareness for most of my life.
Really?
And but, like, I was super into, like, sci-fi and stuff when I was a kid, and as I got older too, and it was just I think it was because my parents weren't Star Wars people, and so in 5th grade, which would have been like the mid-90s, for whatever reason, when it would rain or snow and we couldn't go outside for recess, they would show a movie in the library, and the 2 things that they would show us were either the first 20 minutes of Star Wars, or in their entirety picking up where we left off, the entire Jaws series. I do not know who was in charge.
What?
Wow.
So, like,
I
we
love
would
that
either...
it's not just Jaws, but the entire Jaws series.
I saw all four or five, however many there were, Jaws movies, and they were deeply upsetting to me, and, like, I would almost be in tears because I was so afraid. I was 10 years old, and I'd be, like, so afraid. Or the alternative is we'd watch the first 20 minutes of Star Wars, and they'd just restart Star Wars every time. They wouldn't pick up where we left off. So until I was 14 years old, all I'd ever seen was the first 20 minutes, and I was like, this is the worst, and it's so boring, and I hate it, but at least it's not Jaws. And
yeah. Wow, what teacher is just like, hey, 10-year-olds, here's this horror movie about a man-eating monster. Have fun sleeping tonight.
Yeah. So I guess we could say that was somewhat formative for me. But yeah, so I didn't actually see Star Wars until, like, what was it, like 97 or 98 when they did the re-releases?
Oh boy.
I saw the first remastered one in the theaters, and I was like, still boring. Didn't see any of the prequels, and so I've seen the full trilogy. I saw the full trilogy in my 20s. Found them quite boring, and I saw, what was the one that everybody was super into last year?
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens, and found it quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I didn't hate Force Awakens, but it had problems.
But I think it's interesting that, like, I think Star Wars is really boring. I kind of get it why it is so popular as, like, a thing that sort of set everything else off.
Yeah, I sort of agree.
I find the story boring. The women are basically cardboard pieces of paper and uninteresting. And, like, I know that, like, it's real risky of me to go on the internet on a nerd podcast and talk about how much I hate Star Wars.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I just, like, everything I needed to know about it, I got from, like, the zeitgeist. I get every reference. I just don't care.
Yeah, no, I definitely sort of agree with you there, where I really think it does, like, hugely matter, like, when you first watch Star Wars in your life and how prominent it is at that point, because I mean, ultimately it is a movie for kids, right? And if you don't have like that nostalgic attachment to it, then I think you're definitely not going to have the same reaction to it. And again, like it was like not to disparage Star Wars, because like it did have a huge impact on the culture, and it really was the first movie of its kind. But again, like you can see like 100 movies today that are like that took influence from Star Wars, and like again, it is so huge in the zeitgeist that you're not that if you watch it today, you're not really seeing anything that new.
I get the its importance in history. I did not get, when I finally did see them, why everybody was like, you have to see them, they're amazing.
Yeah,
no.
Like, that makes...
I've seen better sci-fi movies since then.
That makes perfect sense to me.
My Star Wars is the Back to the Future trilogy, and I will defend Back to the Future Part 3.
Hell yeah.
Like, to the mat. I'll go to the mat for not as good as the first two, but still highly watchable.
It is by far my favorite of the series.
Really?
Yeah, no contest. If I'll watch, it's 3, 1, 2 is the order in which I enjoy. I do not like 2 very much at all. Yeah, it's I like the Old West stuff and the train. It's a cool.
Yeah,
I think as a kid 2 was actually my favorite.
2 like genuinely frightened me as a kid.
2 and 3 have their merits, but yeah, I definitely think all the dark, edgy future stuff in 2 was definitely like super overplayed, and it seemed like it went on a lot longer than it had to. But it's not like a terrible movie. Like I watched that movie and I got some enjoyment out of it.
I was super into the what would the future, like the what we thought the future would look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff as a kid. Like I was really into like the Jetsons and all those old like Tex Avery cartoons from the 50s and 60s that were like the world of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it would be all these like dumb and useless inventions.
Yeah,
some of which have probably come true.
I have the same thing where I'm just like big into like sort of old-timey visions of the future. Not that the 80s is necessarily old-timey, but yeah, it's really interesting to think like, or to observe like what people in such like a different cultural context think the future would look like. Like for example, they like in Back to the Future 2, they just had a house where there was like a printer in every room.
No, not a printer, a fax machine.
A fax machine. God damn. That's like such a perfect example of that. And it's like kind of ridiculous and funny now, but like if you think about it, like if you didn't have like the context or any idea of like what technology we have today, like it sort of fulfills the purpose of being like, yeah, you can communicate with people everywhere and anywhere.
But they're gonna fax you stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, like that kind of stuff is just so fascinating to me. I totally agree with that.
4 or 5 years ago, I went to the Smithsonian, the Museum of Aeronautics in DC.
That's still a Smithsonian.
Yeah, and there's a section which is about computers, which I think was last updated in maybe like 1989.
Really?
Yes, or maybe it's been updated since then. But so it's like
is that
this
at
little
Air and Space, or
yes,
yeah.
So it's like this little time capsule because it's before the internet. There's actually a display case which is like, these are places where computers are that you might not expect, and there's like a calculator and whereas now it would just be like everything,
Yeah. Your fridge is a computer. Your phone is a computer.
Yeah.
Coffee maker, maybe?
So I was about 11 or 12 when Clueless came out. Mm-hmm. And in that, it was like very tongue-in-cheek, this idea that like teenagers would have cell phones and beepers and be like texting each other at school. It was like that. Cell phones were a thing that only like very, very rich people had. And so the idea that they would be something so disposable that you would give them to adolescents was like supposed to be a hilarious joke. And when I was teaching,
and now it's a hilarious reality.
Yeah. Well, I was teaching theater like 6 or 7 years ago and was teaching. My class was doing an adaptation of a play, so there was like a lesson about adaptation, and they read Emma, and then we were watching Clueless, and they did not get it, like, at all. They didn't see it as satire. They saw it as some sort of like weird time capsule of the 90s, and all of the jokes, all of the satire was like completely lost on them. And that was a really weird experience for me to realize. That was sort of one of my first experiences with like that you had to be the right age or see something at the right time in order for it to make sense to you. Yeah. Because they were all, they were teenagers. They were still sort of the target demographic of this, but they just didn't get it at all.
Okay, yeah. I want Troy and Jake to weigh in on this conversation because we're a little bit running out of time. So just quickly, what are the movies that really influenced the two of you?
It's not really a franchise, but Forrest Gump, because my father showed that to me when I was like, I think like 8 years old. And when I watched that through for the first time, had no idea that mental disabilities were even a thing. So my perspective of watching that movie from as I was growing up over the years changed drastically. And every time I watch it, I notice something different, and I'm like, oh, well, now I'm older, and now I understand this reference, or I understand how this works. So, like, every time I would watch it, my view of it is just slightly different, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
That seems like an interesting movie to watch at a young age, because, like, it is so, I guess, referential to, like, moments in history, and it definitely seems like a movie that was aimed at people not of our generation, just because it references so many, like I guess current events of the past, and I guess how did your view of it change as like you learned more of the historical context of that movie?
Well, it wasn't even so much just the history, but more so like as growing up as a person. Like there's one scene where Gump and Lieutenant Dan are like celebrating New Year's with two prostitutes, and me back at the time didn't understand that they were paid to hang out with them. But as I grow older, I'm like, oh, I see, now they are just there for their money, or other like things that you wouldn't pick up as a kid because it's more of an adult theme.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen Forrest Gump.
Oh my god, you're missing out.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird gaps, actually. Yeah.
There's so much content. Just see whatever. There's like, as I've gotten older, I've been very strict with you don't actually have to see everything.
Actually, I suppose kind of along those lines, thinking of Star Wars. So I was 5 years old when Star Wars came out, the original one. And we went to see it. And at the cantina scene, I just freaked out and got really scared and couldn't handle it. So my mother left the rest of the family. We went out and went to one of the other movies, which I think was either The Cat from Outer Space or Mary Poppins. I'm not sure which.
One of the two.
Yeah. The Cat from Outer Space was my favorite movie for a number of years when I was around that age.
I'm not even familiar with that movie. It sounds like a B movie?
I got it. It's a kids movie. It's a Disney kids movie. I got it through Netflix a few years ago just to see if it stood up, and it did not at all. That movie is not good. But nice. If you're a 5-year-old who's afraid of Star Wars, then maybe it's just what you're looking for. But I was thinking about, in terms of movies that were kind of influential on me, I think that the first movie that all of us went to and were really excited about and went back and saw multiple times in the theater might have been Stop Making Sense, which is like the Talking Heads concert movie directed by Jonathan Demme.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And it's if you haven't seen it, it's just a real interesting thing. Like the way that they kind of try to give a dramatic structure to what's basically a concert movie. It starts out like David Byrne comes out just himself with an acoustic guitar and a tape deck. that plays a drum machine basically and does Psycho Killer, and then they bring out the bass player Tina Weymouth comes out, and then the drums, and the band builds. He goes through some costume changes, and it's visually interesting, and the music's great, and we all just really love that movie, and so that was one that came to mind, I guess.
So, I guess my sort of movie that really influenced me was actually The Matrix. That hit me at like just the right time, where I guess even though I saw it like only maybe like once or twice, it really just left like a huge, I guess, sort of imprint on my psyche, just because I did see it like right at that right age, and just I just think the visual style of that movie and like the philosophies and ideas that are central to it made like a really profound impact on me. So like there's no doubt that hugely influenced my love today of cyberpunk and fantasy. And again, that movie is just like so visually incredible that I think it not only influenced like my tastes and my preferences, but definitely had an impact on most movies in like the 2000s. I even like the second and third Matrix movies, which I actually rewatched recently for the first time. And even though I actually didn't like them as much when I first watched them as a younger kid, I think they hold up pretty remarkably well. Like, even though there are some weird things with the pacing, there's just again like so much visually incredible stuff in those movies, and so much really imaginative world building. It really left a mark on me, and I'll never stop loving those movies for sure.
Yeah, I got a lot out of the first one, but I think I've only seen the second and third one once each when they were in theaters, and it was just they did nothing for me.
I think I saw the second one in theater and was like, no, thank you.
It might be worth it to give those movies a revisit. I actually think it helps if you watch the second and third movies like one after the other, because the second movie ends in like a really weird abrupt place, and then the third movie just picks up in that same weird place. So I think those movies function together better as a whole, and sort of like the second and third Back to the Future movies. They sort of both have their issues and their problems, but I think there's a lot you can gain by watching them. They still definitely have a lot of merit.
I think that came out the same year as Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
97, 98, something like that.
Yeah.
I think wasn't Phantom Menace 99, then I think Matrix was 2000.
Oh, maybe that's right.
I don't, because I remember that a friend of mine went to see The Matrix, which I didn't see it until
in high school,
maybe a year or two later. And
guys, we have the internet. Hold on.
Oh boy.
The Matrix is 99.
Okay.
And The Force Awakens?
Phantom Menace is also 99.
Okay,
also
yeah.
99. Hey.
So they were the same year.
Yeah. So a friend of mine went to see it, and I didn't see The Matrix in the theater until like a year or two later after I moved to Providence. But he saw it, and he posted this comment someplace saying, like, they think that they could just, steal the story of the life of Jesus and nobody would notice. And then I went to see the opening day Phantom Menace with him. And there's this point where Anakin's mother says, there was no father. And we kind of looked at each other. Anyway, that's my story.
So I think that's a good place to wrap up this conversation and go on to continue the adventure. Mr. Blades, okay, so you take the walk to Blades Unlimited, and you definitely turn some heads on the way.
Yeah, because we look
eliciting expressions of confusion, outright derision, but there's a few people who give you a thumbs up. Of course, they are a little more on the eccentric-looking side themselves. You guess that they might be fellow adventurers who have just lost all sense of what proper society thinks.
I want you to know, while we're walking down the street, I'm pointing finger guns in every which way.
Yeah.
I'm just shouting out, we got these at Chimera Wares. Best 250 gold pieces we ever spent. That place is awesome.
Okay, so
I know that we were like making fun of the enthusiastic Dummos, but sometimes I wonder if we're the enthusiastic Dummos.
Well, that's the moral of this podcast.
It's entirely possible. Okay, so you come to Blades Unlimited, and Blades Unlimited is not messing around. You know the door handle, the one on the door that opens into the store? Yeah, it's a repurposed knife handle. There are so many knives inside this place, there are so many knives, hatchets, and sharpening stones inside, that it's actually making you a little uncomfortable. Like if you turn around too fast, you'll cut yourself on something. A slender man in a brown apron stands behind the counter, wearing a name tag that says Mr. Blades.
Slender Man.
I'm sorry, Mr. what?
Mr. Blades.
Mr. Blades. All right. I'm going to
Little
write
on
that
the
down.
nose, don't you
Someone's
think?
going to listen to that, and they're going to lose it.
Grouse is very excited at how things have turned out. I'm going to just kind of just caution the wind, gleefully bounce around Blades Unlimited looking at stuff.
Okay, roll a dexterity check.
Sure will. 14.
Okay, you managed to not cut yourself, but there's a few close calls.
I'll take it.
I have a question. So this is a town in which all of our pointy weapons were taken away from us?
No, I still got daggers.
Yeah, yeah, you're allowed to have like smaller weapons that might also have like a utility purpose. So like most of these knives are less in the style of weapons, but more like pocket knives and kitchen knives.
Okay. I mean, my spear had a purpose.
And that purpose was to stab things.
I mean, what do they think I'm doing with these daggers? I'm cutting people all day long.
But like I could also use that spear to like, I don't know, pick up trash and be a good citizen.
That's true.
Yeah, you're a goat. You could just eat the trash.
Also a fair point.
But
Anyway.
if I can pick it up with the spear, then like there's less strain on my back.
Anyway, so Mr. Blades is gonna say, I see you're...
Listen, I'm almost 34, all right? I'm starting to worry about these kinds of things.
I see you're a group of people who enjoy arguing semantics.
Oh man, he's got us pegged.
Can I interest you in some sharp-bladed implements?
Yes, you can. I'm super interested. What do you got? What's a good... Let's say, look, I know it's like when you go into the tobacco store and there's like bongs and they say they're for tobacco use only. Like, I get that these aren't weapons, but like, which one's the best weapon?
So he reaches behind the counter and pulls out a wicked-looking dagger with a curved blade, and he says, these just came in.
Are you familiar with Kevin?
We would like your finest anti-Kevin weaponry, please. As I tip my top hat.
Hypothetically, how good at taking down Kevin do you think these are going to be?
No, I don't know Kevin. I've never seen him in my life.
Lucky.
Kevin sucks.
He sucks.
And if I do see him, maybe I know how to be discreet about it.
Nah, just cut that fool. So what's good about these besides being curvy? Can they kill a large, possibly bear mayor?
So he's going to pick up a sheet of parchment from under the counter, and he's going to hold the knife blade up on the countertop, and then he's going to sort of hold the paper right above the knife and about an inch above, and he's gonna drop the paper, and it falls down, sort of just splitting itself nearly halfway on the blade's finely honed edge, and he says, "What do you think of that?"
I mean, Kevin's not made out of paper, but that's a neat trick.
What is Kevin made of?
Garbage. Are these better than the paladin ones? Like, I'm trying to upgrade here because these fools are magic, but
unfortunately I don't have anything of the magic variety. But if you're looking for a fine baseline weapon to start with, you could perhaps find an enchanter somewhere in the city. Of course, someone willing to be discreet about it.
Cool. I'll take.
Oh, that's not me.
Deckham's super discreet. I'll take curvy death knives for sure. I'll take 2. Do you have like a frequent shopper program I could sign up for?
Real knives have curves.
He hands you a punch card with just like 10 little knives on the card, and
I'm putting that in my inventory right now.
And he takes out a pocket knife and just stabs 2 of the and stabs 2 of the little icons, and he says, "Buy 8 more and you get 1 free."
Nice.
So those 2 daggers are gonna run you 10 gold pieces for the both of them.
And they're just regular stabby daggers?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Blades Unlimited punch card has been added to my inventory.
Mr. Blades is gonna say, just in the interest of curiosity, or shall we say professional courtesy, who might I ask are these blades meant for?
Kevin.
Ah, yes, of course.
Also, just like, I don't know.
Just general walking around blades.
Anybody who needs them. Like, sometimes fools got to get cut, and it helps to be prepared.
So he's going to look around and lower his voice a little and say, "It seems to me that you're new to the city, but I will say it would be best not to, let us say, do anything too overtly. The sheriff may not seem like much, but it would be best if you refrained from crossing him."
So we're definitely gonna have to kill this sheriff at some point, right?
No, the sheriff's nice. He's a cat.
Which
Grouse is
one?
gonna
Oh, I
lean
remember
in.
the sheriff.
And he's going to say, "Appearances can be deceiving."
Grouse leans even closer in towards Mr. Blades than Mr. Blades was leaning in to us. You're not my supervisor.
Since they took away my spear, and those darts are not the most effective, I kind of want like a range. Do you have a good like throwing knife?
He's going to grab 2 sheaths which hold 3 well-balanced throwing knives each in them. And
yes, that is what I would like. Grouse, I didn't even know I was into knives. Thanks.
See?
And
Let's get stabby.
and yeah, that's 6 knives total, so that'll run you 12 gold pieces.
Okay.
I don't need any knives because I already look sharp. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I'm not that interested in knives either. But I was wondering, you mentioned that there might be enchanters around who might be willing to enchant weapons. Do you have a lead on any of them, or can you pass our names to someone perhaps?
He shrugs and says, "If I had a reliable hookup, then I would be selling their wares in this store. But unfortunately, good, discreet wizards aren't easy to find. Perhaps someone in Sinest, the next town over."
Sinest. All right.
There are multiple
Yes.
towns?
Things are a little looser in Sinest as far as regulations go.
Can Grouse's love of knives open the heart door?
I'm just going to snuggle my new daggers in front of it. Yeah. Have you seen a porcupine with a flute come through here?
So
Oh, that's right. We have a goal.
yeah, that thing you're supposed to do. So Mr. Blades is
I
going
forgot
to.
it wasn't just all knives and outfits.
Mr. Blades is going to lean back. No one matching that description. And even if I did see such a person, it is generally best for me to be discreet about who comes into my store, as you might imagine.
Could we leave a note with you to pass along if such an individual were to happen in? You would be compensated, of course.
Who is this porcupine? Is this that Kevin you're all up in arms about?
I believe his name is Sonic.
No, Kevin's a human. The porcupine, these folks are looking for the porcupine for...
I think her dad's trying to find
Yeah,
him.
the porcupine's father is trying to find her, I think it's... so it's kind of a private investigator kind of deal. We don't want to harm the porcupine in any way.
So Mr. Blades is going to shrug and say, there are maybe more more socially forward people who might have a better idea than me, but I suppose I'll do what I can for such fine and discreet patrons.
Okay. So let's see. So I'll write a note saying, we are 4 adventurers from your father, Mr. Pin, and...
She's Pin, I thought.
Oh.
Yeah, you never actually got the
Am I
name
wrong?
of Porcupine Dad.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'll start with
Pop
a new
a
piece of
pen.
paper then. Dear Pin, we are 4 adventurers who have been asked by your father to look for you. We mean you no harm whatsoever. If you want to find us, we'll stop by. What was the name of the bar we were at? The Stone's Throw.
Stone's Throw.
We'll stop by Stone's Throw, look for a giant bear in a Sailor Moon outfit. Or a white tuxedo, and that's probably us. Sincerely,
Yes.
Skullbutt.
P.S. Kevin sucks.
P.S. Kevin sucks.
You know, if you've already been to the Stone's Throw, you might just consider putting that flyer up on the adventure board.
Yeah. Well, that's a
high
good
five.
idea.
That's a great suggestion.
That's a location that gets a good amount of traffic.
Right on.
All right. Okay. Yeah. We won't trouble you any further then. We'll do that.
Thanks for the cool knives. Bye, friend.
Farewell. Okay, so so you go out of Blades Unlimited feeling feeling a little better armed and better protected. So now are you gonna go to the mayor's office?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's give it a shot. How do we get there? Because I cannot fly.
I think the office is in town. I think the house is
Let's go see Michael Scott.
inaccessible.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Let's
yeah,
hit that
Good Boy
office.
did say that the mayor's office is just like on top of that giant heart that's supported like 100 feet above the city.
Oh.
So I mean, you can go to the base of it, but searching around, you find no apparent means of ascent, unless you fancy 100-foot climb up some stone so smooth that it may as well have been polished.
Grouse?
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
I mean, I have claws. I can climb. Bears can climb.
They can.
How high could Decim throw me?
It's a good question. That depends on Deckham's strength score.
You could just ride me as I climb.
I mean, climbing I'm pretty good at.
I'm pretty good at climbing. Goats are really good at climbing stuff.
My earlier experiment with climbing didn't work out so great, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's probably a right way to get up here that I think we could probably just try to figure out.
yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like the only official we've met has been the sheriff, so maybe Night Whisperer would tell us how we could get an appointment.
Yeah, let's go.
Now that
We can head there. We can throw that note up on the board in the tavern.
yeah.
Maybe somebody in there will know what's up.
Okay. Do you want to go do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
So you're back at the Stone's Throw, and you put up the flyer. Like I said, the adventure board is empty right now, so that the flyer is sort of the only thing there. So anything else you want to do while you're here at the tavern?
I want to tell the guy a joke.
Good boy.
Yeah, I want to tell Good Boy a joke.
Yeah, Good Boy is still at the bar, just chatting with a few of the other patrons.
If
and
this
he's
is
gonna
that
say,
20-minute joke you were talking about?
No, that's the world's longest joke. That's a different joke.
He's gonna say, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Okay. Hey, Good Boy.
Yeah?
What's the difference between a rundown transportation depot and a large-chested lobster?
What is it? I mean, it seems like there's a bunch of differences just on their face.
Well, one is a rusty bus station, and the other is a busty crustacean.
What's a bus station?
I just walk away. I can't.
And Decim's sanity drops another few points.
Good Boy, I was wondering, have you seen a porcupine with a flute and an unusual weapon around?
So he's going to think about it for a little while, and he's going to say, I can't think of anyone like that off the top of my head. But if they've got a flute, then they might be a performer, and you could maybe check to see if there's
Oh right, yeah, there are other.
There's been any performances like that, and if they've got a weapon, then it means they're probably an adventurer, and maybe they've stopped by the sheriff's office.
Solid advice. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure,
Good
no
Boy.
problem.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's go to the sheriff's office then, if that sounds good to everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, you've been walking around the city for a good while now, and it's getting on about nightfall. Places are starting to light lanterns in front of their storefronts, and inside their houses. But you come to the sheriff's office. It is a rustic wooden building with some iron bars over the windows. But even so, it looks surprisingly inviting, and you hear some faint musical notes coming from within. As you enter, you see the sheriff with his feet up on his wooden desk, playing a silver flute with a scrap of purple cloth tied around it. He notices you and sits up. "Hey, newcomers, did you find an adventure posting already?"
Not yet. No, we've gotten these outfits, and
Yeah, they look sharp as heck.
don't they though?
So sharp.
Thank you. That flute is really cool too. Where did you pick that up?
This guy's voice is making Decim cringe just the whole time.
So Night Whisper's gonna pause for a second. He's gonna say, "A friend gave it to me."
Yeah, cool. Have you been playing long?
He's gonna shrug and say, for a little while, I guess. A few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm more of a pan flute guy myself, but that's a really nice looking instrument.
Thanks.
There aren't any adventures posted on the board right now, other than something we put up.
Yeah, I heard it was a little empty.
Yeah, but we were wondering if there's something that we could do for the town that maybe we could do to help you out, or the mayor. Is there anything like that you can think of?
Night Whisper's gonna lean back and say, well, I could deputize you and you could start punching some bad guys.
Yes, let's do that.
But then he's gonna deflate a little bit and say, but I think I might need the mayor's approval for that.
Well, how have you ever done anything like that before? How does that work?
he's gonna kind of scratch his head like he doesn't really know and say, well, I just have my one deputy, and I think he was kind of here when I started.
Oh, yeah? Well, could we meet him? Maybe he has some tips.
Sure. And Night Whisper points you to a door at the back of his office.
So what do you think, guys? Should we go through that door?
Oh, boy.
I feel like maybe we're going to get murdered if we go through that door.
Probably
For
definitely
the
not
door.
murder.
So he points to the door, you say?
Okay, are you going to go through yon door?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Grouse.
Okay, so
Audryn's going to hang back.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair and probably a good idea.
So you go through the door, and it seems like there's a block of jail cells, although they're all currently empty. And beyond those cells is a hallway. And there's a door at the end of the hallway, and foul-smelling smoke curls out from behind the door of this darkly lit office.
Okay.
Another door. This is a real head scratcher.
We just have to leave one person behind in each segment. So no. I'll go through the door.
Yeah, I will also go through that.
Okay. Behind that door is a bizarre creature, which is floating in the center of the room, with a cigarette hanging out of his disproportionately huge mouth. This is apparently the deputy. His body is a round, scaly orb with one gigantic eye in the center, and 10 additional eyes snake out from his body on long, flexible stalks. Each eye is trained on a different floating rainbow-hued orb, which seem to be displaying scenes from around the city on their surfaces.
Is this like a Minority Report situation?
And he's going to turn just a few of his eyes to look at you and grumble, haven't you heard of knocking?
Knock, knock.
Thank you. What do you want?
Knock, knock.
You're supposed to...
Yeah, jeez. How do you think this works?
It works if you tell me why you're here,
Knock,
and I don't...
Knock.
Or else I kick you out my office.
So, ignore my friends. They're idiots.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Skullbutt has finally caught on.
Words hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. Just sometimes I gotta speak my truth, you know?
How touching. Are you gonna leave now?
So we were just speaking to Night Whisper, and I asked him if there was anything that we could do to help out in the city. He suggested that we might be able to become deputies, and that you were the only existing deputy. So I thought we would talk to you to see if you could give any insight into how all this stuff works here. We're pretty new to the city.
Any civil servants have to be appointed by the mayor. So the sheriff can recommend you, but I mean, you'll have to do something impressive first. We can't just let anyone go around punching criminals. We gotta have standards, and just any old adventurers who come walking into the office aren't gonna cut it.
So we're like some of the best punchers you've ever seen.
Pretty much the coolest dudes around.
Also, do you have any like vines that you need cleared?
So even though he doesn't have arms, the deputy is going to sort of raise a few of his eye stalks in what appears to be some analog of a shrug. I guess good punching is a start, but do you actually have any sense of civic duty or knowledge of the laws of Heart City?
Nope.
Sense of civic duty, yes, for some of us. Law knowledge, less.
Yeah, we just got here, so. But what did you do to become deputy?
Well, I lived in Torso Land for a while, then decided to go out and explore a little bit more of this place to see what I could see.
That's the same reason my bear friend went over the mountain.
This was about a good century ago when Heart City was
Just me.
No, I got it. Joke received here.
I wasn't sure if I was the only one who knew that weird
Bear went over to the mountain.
folk song or not.
Yeah. Sorry.
I came up here about a good century ago when Heart City was still a bit more of an unstable place, and the mayor, seeing that I had some potential, decided to recruit me.
So you've met the mayor.
Yeah.
All that we know, I mean, we asked Night Whisperer about him, and all that Night Whisperer...
Her.
You know what? I'm an idiot. We asked Night Whisperer about her, and all that Night Whisperer could say was that she was really big, bigger than Decim, our bear friend here's.
Well, that's not inaccurate.
Yeah. No, I certainly would not accuse Night Whisperer of inaccuracy. But is there any other information? Like, just out of curiosity, is there anything else that we should know or that you can pass on?
We just want to make sure we know who she is when we see her so we can be properly deferential to her.
Well, I think you'll know her when you see her. The mayor has been here, well, longer than any of us. She's really the reason why the city exists the way it does today. She came into this cavern when it was a lawless place, just full of any adventurers who had wandered in, backstabbing each other and just doing anything to to further their own goals. It wasn't the nicest place, but then she started hiring sheriffs, making some laws and ultimately trying to get it safer for just regular people to live in. That's why we've got the restrictions on weapons that we do, and that's why we've got the sheriff and deputies like me to keep things in line.
So, no offense, but your weapons restrictions seem
Your restrictions suck.
arbitrary.
They seem dumb. Look at all these weapons I have, and I just show off my large collection. I think I have
No.
I think I have 6 knives now.
So he shrugs again.
Oh wait, I'm actually not even in here, am I?
That's true.
So
Audrey's in the...
I guess you're just yelling it out from beyond the hallway. And he's gonna say, he shrugs again and says, "It's more of a symbolic thing than anything. I mean, if you've got a big guy walking around with a two-handed battle axe, that's gonna make people a little more uncomfortable than, say, a pocket knife. Also, just having the sheriff ask for weapons at the front gate is a good way to see, well, who's just here to start trouble. Those types don't generally relinquish so easily."
I'm curious about something, and this obviously is none of my business, but I'm both a bard and a cat, so that won't stop me from asking. If you've
That's
been
pretty
here,
on brand.
if you've been here longer than the sheriff, why aren't you the sheriff?
So he shrugs again and says, "I couldn't beat that guy in a fight."
Could we? Just hypothetically.
I bet I could.
We do have a giant bear in a tuxedo. I've got a bunch of knives. This cat's super helpful.
I'm really good at punching.
Our friend out there, she'll punch a hole right through a demon.
Trust me, the sheriff's fighting skills, not something you want to test.
I do.
No, the sheriff's nice. Leave the sheriff alone. I've turned out to be more pro law and order than I was expecting.
You're really lobbying for this deputy job.
Well,
It's good to have a cat on the inside.
yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you this. So it seems like you've got some kind of magical portals that you're able to monitor the city through.
Just crystal balls, but yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Have you seen someone named Kevin, and has he been doing some really stupid things that we should know about?
Like breathing.
Yeah. Being racist against monsters.
I keep an eye on the entrance for any new adventurers that come in. I think I know the guy you're talking about.
He had a naked friend?
Yeah, he came in with another guy. we've got his sword and shield in our locker here, but, and he spent a good hour or so yelling at the mayor's office for some reason.
Classic Kevin.
Just yelling at the office, like into the sky.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the brightest fella.
Yeah, nah, he sucks.
But then he gave up and I think just went looking for some place to sleep.
Someone mentioned some place called Sinest to us. Is that anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of our 2 neighboring cities. There's Dexton and Sinest. If you're planning on traveling, the safer bet is Dexton. That's where all of the guilds in the Repose operate.
Interesting. And what's Sinest about?
I hear there's good entertainment there. If that's the sort of thing you're into, it's sort of a vacation-y spot, but not for your average vacationer, if you know what I mean. It's a place where you gotta watch your purse strings, to put it mildly.
This place sounds great.
Is this Fantasy Risa?
Maybe. That's not a reference that's immediately apparent to me.
Star Trek thing.
No then. Maybe.
All right. I mean, I don't think I have any other questions. How about you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think we should
Yeah,
get
I'm
to
good.
Sinest.
Come back out here. There's no weird monsters.
Thank you so much for taking the time to explain things to us, and maybe we'll be co-deputies at some point. That would be great.
All right, but I'm not your tour guide. If you're looking for information in the future, go ask somewhere else.
That's not nice.
You got it.
And out in the main office, Night Whisper turns to Audreyn, and he's like, "Wow, you're sure yelling a lot."
Do goats have good hearing?
It seems like it's the future of communication to me.
Before I leave, I want to say to him, knock, knock.
Go away.
Knock. Knock.
He turns a few more of his eye stalks to you, and then actually rotates his central body in and glares at you with his main central eye. Close the door on your way out.
Not until say who's there.
So now I'm looking through the monster manual to see what kind of eye rays a beholder has, cause Decim is not getting the idea.
I'm very adamant about this.
Okay, make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright, I don't know what my multiplier is, but 17.
Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, my voice is going. I should not have done the smoker voice for so long. So one of the creature's eyes at the end of the stalk lights up and shoots a black ray at you, striking you in the forehead. You feel waves of panic start to creep over you, but you shake it off.
Knock.
All right.
Knock.
All right.
Who's there?
Tom Sawyer.
I have no idea who.
Tom Sawyer underwear. Pull your pants up, fool. And
I don't
leave.
have legs. That doesn't work at all. Leave now.
Already gone.
All right.
All right.
I won.
Did you, though? Did you win?
I got to tell the joke. Also, what would that black thing have done if I didn't roll high enough?
You would have got feared for a minute, and then you would have had to run away. And from the main office, Night Whisper says, "Ooh, I heard an eye ray go off. Someone's in trouble." And he looks at Decim. "Do I need to arrest you?" And he holds up a fist.
How big is this guy?
Night Whisper?
Yeah.
He's medium-sized. Maybe about like 5'6", 5'7".
I pick him up and say,
All right.
nah.
You know what, Decim?
What's up, buddy?
Let's have a little talk here, buddy. Okay.
Someone's in trouble.
So Night Whisper seems to forget about arresting Decim, and he actually starts purring a little bit. It seems he likes to be held.
Oh, that's cute. Well, gee.
Then he turns on you in like half a second and just twists his way out of your arms.
Aw.
And lands on his feet.
All right, let's go do whatever you guys want to do. I already got my joke out of the way.
All right.
The sheriff is gonna say, so how did it go? I mean, probably pretty bad, right? You're not deputies now, are you?
Pretty well.
Unclear.
Yeah, a lot of things are unclear all the time.
Yeah, that is a true fact. I guess in order to become deputies, we would have to prove ourselves in some way, sounds like. You've met the mayor yourself, right?
Yeah.
So what sort of things do you think would impress her favorably in someone who wants to be a deputy?
Well, like I said, she chose me to be the sheriff probably because I'm just the best sheriff ever and the best at kung fu. So if you want to impress her, I mean, maybe do something really awesome, cool, and also show her that you're dedicated to justice. And don't take no guff from any punk adventurers.
I feel like we're doing pretty well, yeah.
I've been nailing that, yeah. We sure haven't taken any guff.
You saw that thing with Kevin, right?
Yeah, man.
I guess that was
a whole song about it.
Before we got in the city.
I punched Kevin once.
Awesome.
You're my hero.
I like
He
you.
sucks.
High five.
He gives you a high five.
Yes.
It is adorable.
Pretty adorable high five.
Tiny cat, big bear, high-fiving. It's so cute.
I don't know how tall Decim is, but he could be as much as like a foot above Night Whisper.
Have you been to the neighboring cities?
Yeah, I've been all around.
Yeah. Any tips about them?
Let's see. If you're going to Dexton, they have a fighters tournament where you can definitely be the best at anything if you just try hard and believe in yourself.
I can do that.
They've also got pretty good beer there, I guess. If you go to Sinest, there's lots of gang violence and it's scary.
Let's go to Sinest.
Yeah, I want to take part in this fighter tournament thing. I think I can do it. I'm a big old bear.
You're also not a fighter.
Yeah, but I'm bulky. Do you not see how much HP I have? I have a lot.
So your plan is to just like take it damage until the other person dies?
Just not get killed the whole time.
Sustain enough damage, and I can definitely deal it out because, again, I'm a bear.
Yeah,
Plus,
but
I
you're
can
like
heal
a bear
myself.
cleric.
But Night Whisper's gonna say, if you're new to the repose, which I think you are, then it might just be a good idea to stay in Heart City for a while, especially if you want to get the mayor to notice you.
Okay.
So we can't get up to the office. The weird eyeball monster won't talk to us.
Beholder.
Oh,
we haven't gotten to the Office of Housing and Zoning yet.
Yay!
we're not. I know I made a joke about it earlier, but the library might have useful information.
Yep.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, Skullbutt's super interested in that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'd like to check out the library, if that's okay.
Okay. Want to go to Yon Library?
Yeah.
Okay, so the library is a large building, actually near the center of the city, so relatively close to the mayor's office. And upon entering, you see shelves upon shelves of books covering a range of topics from history to religion to the arcane to fiction. The librarian, in typical librarian fashion, wears her red hair in a bun and sports some horn-rimmed glasses. What rather distinguishes her, however, is the pair of leathery red bat wings sprouting from her back. And she says, Hello, is there anything I can help you to find?
Is there any information on kind of the history of Heart City?
Yes, indeed. We have a history section here. Any particular aspect of the city's history you're looking for?
I guess, do we want to know, like, pre-mayor?
Yeah.
Or the arrival of the mayor?
Like how the house was built?
Accounts from that time are somewhat unreliable, as just any old bard who can tell an embellished story has tried their hand at recounting that time. Before we had any proper historians in place, so information from that time may be perhaps a little self-indulgent and unreliable, but nonetheless, you can give it a look.
I know that I've been joking about the housing and zoning office, but Grouse, that might actually tell us how that house was built.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some construction permits in there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Which house are you talking about? The mayor's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or like, do you have like any architecture books about the... Well, I guess the bard stories. Bards are pretty accurate in my experience so far. They only tell 100% of what actually happened.
I'm just beaming with pride.
For example, have you heard the song about how much Kevin sucks? Because, oh boy, Kevin sucks.
So the librarian is going to say, well, if it's the construction of the mayor's office that you're curious about, I'm afraid I can't be of much help. Records and blueprints of that particular place have, are more or less impossible to come by. I assume it's because the mayor, wanted to keep the details of her living establishment closed, that it might not be so easily infiltrated by, I suppose, adventurers who might be looking to stage some sort of break-in.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the plan.
Do you have any of the bard stories from when she arrived?
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to what Grouse said first, and she's gonna say, yes. Well, I would strongly advise against doing such a thing. I guess you're new to the city.
Yeah, I mean we just want to get up there and talk to her.
Well, I can't say she'd appreciate that, but at least you're not trying to break or steal anything.
Have you met her?
I've had the privilege of a few passing encounters.
Is she a bear? We have a bet.
No. You really are new, aren't you?
Quite.
That's us.
What kind of animal is she?
I wouldn't say animal unless you truly have little regard for your life. She is an adult silver dragon.
Oh.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool, yes.
Do you have any books on silver dragons?
We have a few bestiaries on our shelves.
You don't happen to have the 5th edition Monsters Manual, do you? 'Cause that would be super helpful.
I'm not familiar with such a text.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'm definitely interested in the early history of the city, so I'd like to check out some of those books.
Okay, so are you looking for the history of sort of like pre-mayor times, or sort of when the mayor arrived in the city?
I feel like we probably want both, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in both of those, I guess. And there's probably a million books, but...
Very well, then. So the librarian leads you to the history section and points out a few titles for you. And she's going to say, my name is Shale, by the way. If you need anything, just call.
Shell or Shale?
Shale, S-H-A-L-E.
Okay.
All right.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
Thank you. I rather think
I give
so.
him a nod of approval.
So, what do you want to look at first? The prehistory of the city, or sort of the pre-mayor times of the city, or
Yeah, let's start with that.
Okay. So, like Shale said, there aren't really any official official accounts of the times before the city, but you do find a book entitled Memoirs of, let's see, gotta think of a name for a bard.
Flurbus. Flurbus the Bard.
Memoirs of Brelkin the Bard. And as Shale suggested, it just seems to be mostly a bunch of sort of like self-aggrandizing poems and anecdotes. But from skimming a number of his stories, it does seem to imply that there's like a background of just chaos in this city, of just this tumultuous time when adventurers are all like looking for the biggest, craziest treasure they can find, and just living in this big sort of empty, lawless cavern, and just sort of trying to take whatever they can get, and really having like little regard for, I guess, sort of any of society's expectations, just sort of, again, truly living in sort of a lawless land where no one really blinks twice if you feel like stabbing someone or robbing someone blind in the street. He specifically mentions that Heart City was considered even more dangerous than the maze-like and monster-filled tunnels of Torso Land.
So if we look at the books about what happens when the mayor arrives, what does that have to say? How did that go down?
Well, yeah, it seems more or less in line with what the deputy told you. You feel that these quote-unquote official histories may be somewhat aggrandizing as well, shining like sort of a positive propaganda light on the mayor, but it tells of how she settled down in the city, atop the most prominent feature in the cavern, the literal heart of the goddess, and how she declared that the city was hers, and that she would bring law to it in a time of lawlessness and make it safe for anyone living there. And it talks about how she recruited like a huge number of adventurers as sheriffs and lawmen and women who would enforce her laws, and ultimately that allowed the chaos of Heart City to simmer down and sort of eventually stabilize into a place where people could start living, and how a lot of adventurers gave up on their careers and just settled down and started building shops and making art and contributing positive things to the community, having been broken of their adventurous habits.
Were all the people that she recruited enthusiastic Dummos? Is there anything about that?
It does list a few names of some of the prominent lawkeepers. There were wizards of almost unmatched power. There were fighters and paladins who specialized in non-lethal means of subduing their foes. And there were bards and enchanters and people who could take the fight out of their opponents with just a few words. So it doesn't and sort of like every other type of adventurer who seems interested in actually doing good instead of just self-serving chaos. So it doesn't seem like enthusiastic Dummos is that strong of a running theme, but yeah.
But that wasn't a no.
It doesn't specifically call anyone out as an enthusiastic Dummo, but you suspect such people might have been around. I love how the party's inquiries have become so focused on enthusiastic dummos.
I did just want to ask the librarian if they knew anything about this porcupine that we've been looking for.
Again, she's gonna think for a moment and say, well, we get a few porcupines coming in here and there to read, but I can't say that I've seen any openly carrying a flute and a weapon.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad I interrupted you for that.
Okay, so let's say that was a pretty good history lesson on Heart City. Glad that you're taking interest in the boring 100-year-old or 200-year-old details of my fantasy city. So I think it's about time to wrap things up here. Let's take care of some housekeeping. Our theme music and transition music is by Ira Ray. Our thanks to him. Incidental music by me. You can find us online. Our website is dicetomeetyou.com, where I've posted some campaign information if you want to just look a little bit of background information on the gods and some of the locations in this world. Go there to check it out. You can also find us on Twitter at dicetomeetyou. So give us a tweet, say hi, say what you think about the show. And while you're on the internet, you can give us a review on iTunes. That'll really help out the show. It'll help more people find us on those charts, on those featured shows. Even if you don't listen to the show on iTunes, it'll only take you a few minutes. Just drop us a quick review, and that's a really good way to help others find our fun role playing game. I know this is sort of like a very different sort of adventure, sort of very experimental. So, and that's why I want more people to find it, because this is a really sort of unconventional game, and I hope that you're gonna get something out of listening to this show that different than you would out of most other Let's Play or most other actual plays. So let's do some plugs now. You can also find my other podcast, Friendship and Firelight, where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games and video games and movies and anything else nerdy. I do that with my friends Matthew and Ivy. We have a real good time. Sometimes just we start recording the podcast while we're really incoherent and just talk about nonsense for a full hour. That's fun too. So give it a listen. You can also find my book, Persona 5e. It's seeing some heavy use in this campaign. That's how we made all of our animal characters. So you can find that book on rpgnow.com if you want to make a fun, ridiculous animal character of your own. Whether they've got a big bear body or a tiny mouse body, you can do whatever you want. Just maybe don't do a bear in full Sailor Moon cosplay.
Right.
Or definitely do that
100% do it because it's great. I think that's what you meant to say.
I just want to make very clear that this is not like an irony thing or like a bear humiliating thing. It seems like that bear would be so gleeful and excited to have on that. Like, this is like, I want this bear to be fully consenting to wearing this outfit and excited about it.
No, if there were a bear like in full Sailor Moon cosplay and they were fully into it, yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited about it. And for the record, I'm talking about like animal bear. I'm sure that there are people bears.
Gay
like,
subculture bear?
Statistically, it seems possible that someone has dressed up as a Sailor Moon. I'm really thinking fuzzy cartoon bear.
If you're a bear and you're in full Sailor Moon cosplay, I support you. You do you forever, never stop.
Yes.
Then you've got stuff to plug.
I made a comedy album that you can buy called Yes Really. If you go to glentickle.bandcamp.com, or you can just find me on Twitter, where I will make weird jokes and have weird interactions with brands. Has been a fun thing I've been doing lately.
How's your campaign been going to flood your friend with copies of your album?
I haven't checked the update. I had to order more copies which is a good problem to have.
Awesome.
Because I think I'm down. I think I have like 8 left, and I still have some shows coming up where I would like to be able to sell them. So yeah, sometime this week I think I will be getting those in the mail. Yeah, but we were at 8 last I checked, and then I gave another push. I don't think I'm quite going to get 36, but it'll still be a dumb fun thing to do.
I have another podcast called Death Prattle where we talk about death and mourning and how you see it in everywhere and how people treat you. And I think I said last week Glenn was on our show, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say most downloaded episode ever, even though it hasn't been released, because Glenn is our most famous guest. like by hundreds of percents more famous than...
You know I'm not famous, right?
Yeah, but our last guest was my partner, so...
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I was like thinking back on everything we talked about to be like, should I have said some of the things I said? So that's always like usually the mark of a good episode of a thing.
Well, good. I'm glad that we made you unsure if you should put something out into the internet or not.
Well, it's weird because most of them are like jokes that I do on stage. I'm like, should I have said that? Where it is now recorded. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Probably.
I need to listen to this episode.
Comes out, in real time, in our time, it comes out on Thursday. In podcast time, it came out
weeks ago.
A month ago.
So, as always, I have a million things going on, which you can go to jacobhaller.com to find out about. But more specifically, I'm going to plug my oldest and main podcast, Tell Me About Your Song, which I think I talked about in the Getting to Know You segment an episode or two ago. But basically, in each episode, I talk to a songwriter. They pick a song that they've written, and we talk about it. And then I edit it down to around 20 minutes. And so it's, relatively easy to listen to. And it's always interesting to hear what people have to say. And I'm putting out a couple of Christmas-related episodes, which will be probably in the past when this is released. But those are pretty funny. So you might want to check those out if you haven't already. And I guess that's it.
All right. So I think that about covers it. I'm Keith McBlane.
I'm Glen Tickle.
I'm Jacob Haller.
I'm Tara Dunderdale, and I just Googled bear Sailor Moon, and it's a thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm Troy.
And until next time, it's been nice to meet you.
Bye. Yay.
See you later, everyone.
Guys, it's great. It's really great. It's really good cosplay.
Nice. A 100-year-old or 200-year-old details of my fantasy city, but I'd say with that, let's get into a little bit deeper into the backstories of each other and go into our getting to know you segment. Wait, that transition's totally not going to work because I put the getting to know you segment at the beginning, at the middle of the podcast. Whatever.
Totally out of context.
That just got totally unusable.